Got there in the end. Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here. Hello.
Right.
I'm confused.
Okay. It's okay. It's fine. Because I've got this.
Okay.
So today we're going to be talking about before or after. It's a question that we see all the time. Should this pedal go before this one or after this one?
Right.
Right?
And we're not talking about the whole of pedals, are we? We're
No.
talking about specifically in relation to drive and...
So in relation to drive and modulation, reverbs and delays, okay?
Right.
But it's a deepening of our understanding of gain staging.
Because there is a standard order, right?
There is. Before we get into that, I just want to quickly say thank you to everyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed t-shirts and pedals and whatever.
Journals, strings.
All that stuff. Thank you guys so much. As I said before, we don't take any money from any of the manufacturers. So that's how we pay, do what we do. So thank you.
Buy t-shirts.
Buy t-shirts.
We stay afloat.
So let's get started. So the idea is I've got 3 different levels of gain here.
I see one here.
You see one there.
I see one there.
Yes, and then
Another one there. Oh, there's another one over there
here.
that I can't see.
That's right.
Obscured from
That's
my
right.
view. So this is a low gain boost.
Yep,
This is a medium gain overdrive distortion.
that's right.
And that is a high gain distortion.
There's a higher gain.
Higher.
Set to be higher gain.
Yes.
Okay. So we've got 2 amps today. We're using the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe and the Vox AC15. And they're both on and they sound thusly. Okay, our 3 levels of gain. We have the lower gain.
And just in case you play humbuckers, I have humbuckers.
Beautiful.
Left you on a pensive chord there, Dan.
Yeah, thank you very much.
As if you were going to say something interesting next.
As if. Okay, so there are 3 levels of gain.
Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to try some delay, some reverb, some modulation, including chorus, and we also have the mini vent there as well. Because there's some really interesting things that start to happen when we start to move where we place these in relation to our drive section.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we going to start with?
Well, let's start with the chorus.
Okay. So what would you say is the standard position for chorus?
Well, generally, a lot of people would say you have your gain pedals first, and then your modulations, and then delays and reverbs. Okay, but today we're going to challenge that.
Yeah, we're gonna hear the chorus before and after overdrive.
Exactly.
And there will be many of you screaming at the screen right now, I use my chorus before overdrive and it sounds brilliant.
Yes. So let's start with, we're going to start with the gain stage. This is the standard thing. Start with the gain stage into the chorus. Okay, so if you wouldn't mind, Mick, this is our
Yes.
low gain.
Okay.
This is the chorus on. Lovely, right? So we have our gain and it's clipping and limiting, and then that sound is then being chorused. But what happens if we reverse that? If we take the modulation effect, someone's heard us.
Somebody just bought something.
Yes, bless you.
Yeah, actually no, it was a 0.
Okay,
Catherine must be doing things on the store.
bless her.
Bless her.
Right, so we're going to reverse that. We're going to create our modulation first,
Yeah.
And then we're going to distort that. Okay,
So that was chorus after overdrive.
that was chorus after overdrive.
And
right?
if you're confused about that, guitar in, overdrive, chorus, amp.
That's right. Now we're going to flip that guitar in, chorus, overdrive, amp. Okay, so here we go. So what are you hearing?
I'm not hearing a radical difference.
That's right.
But I am hearing slightly more chorus with the chorus after the overdrive, I think.
Yes. So because this is a low gain stage. So let's clarify what we mean by gain to start with. All right. Gain means more. Okay. So there's this, when we're talking about gain, we're talking about, in this stuff, we're talking about adding volume. And what happens is in these circuits, as we add more signal, they clip.
Yeah.
Right. These circuits are designed to clip. So when we're talking about gain stages like this, we're actually talking about the characteristics of the clipping and the distortion.
Yeah,
right?
we're talking about overdrive.
And the limiting.
Really, aren't
yeah,
we?
we're talking about overdrive. But it's very important that because we're not just using these like unity gain to add some fuzz, because we are changing the dynamic level, the volume.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about gain stages. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about the character of the overdrives and how we're using them. Are we using them as boosts? Are we using them as an always on pedal to set the level? So there's a number of different ways that we can use these gain stages. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the moment, we're just going from lowest gain to the highest gain. Okay. And so in this particular pedal, the page, that the overdrive and the clipping is being created by a tube, right, which is really warm. So what you'll hear is with the page going first and then that going into the chorus, we're getting that modulation is like clean. It's taken that warm signal from the overdrive and it's modulated that. It's split it. We've got the chorus happening. So one signal, as it hits the chorus, it splits the signal. One signal remains the same, and the other signal gets modulated around it using delays and things. But then that goes to the amplifier. If we reverse that, we take our chorus and we're putting that through a lovely warm preamp, and the edges of that chorus, the shimmer, do get rounded off a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a really good trick if what you're looking to do is just to round the edges off things, putting a gain stage after, and we'll hear it as we go along, but putting a gain stage like that after things to warm things up is fantastic.
Just to sort of bring it all back in again.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's do the next gain stage.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
All right,
I think
so
that makes sense.
Okay, here we go.
Kind of similar. Can I turn the depth up a bit on the chorus
Yes, you can.
it's a bit more obvious?
Yep. Right, so here we go, chorus by itself.
Yep. From where I'm stood, there's not much difference.
Sure. So because we've now increased the level of distortion, all right, the distorted sound is hitting the chorus, and it's chorusing the distortion, or it's the other way around, right? With the distortion after the chorus, we're getting it is more distortion. You get more of those fuzzy bits of the chorus because the whole thing is being distorted. Yeah. I think generally what we'll find is with the modulation effects like a chorus or a phaser happening before the overdrive, it tends to fold itself into more of that overdrive sound. It's a little bit less pronounced. But the really interesting thing with this is we can now put a different chorus pedal on there and it will be a different effect. The important thing to remember with this is you can't just lump all your modulation pedals into one thing and say modulation pedals sound better before or modulation pedals sound better after. Each pedal has its own character, and some of those are going to work with the clipping, and depending on the pedal that you're using to do the clipping, some of those are going to work better before and work better after. You know what I mean?
Can I hear your guitar?
Yep.
So what am I pressing? That's the chorus on and
That's
off.
the chorus, yep.
And then medium before and after, yeah?
Yep.
I just want to hear your guitar maybe in a sort of slightly higher register.
Sure.
I want to hear the effect on the high frequencies.
Okay.
If there are any at all.
Sure.
So here's just the chorus then.
Yep.
It seems to be a more strident sound with the chorus after.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just getting more of that, the separation of that modulation. It's just a bit more apparent because that's, once it hits the modulation, we're not softening those waves anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you like your chorus?
See, generally I like my chorus after the gain stage.
Yeah, me too.
But what I might do is I might have my low gain overdrive and a medium gain overdrive and then some modulation and then a heavier gain overdrive and then some other modulation. You know what I mean? Yeah. But one of the great things about being able to move around the order of things is, it does sound different depending on, like I said, depending on the actual effect you're using.
Yeah.
So the idea is here is to change our thinking and maybe start looking at these things individually instead of just lumping them all in as all modulation follows this rule.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, let's say the high gain then, just to finish that off.
Okay.
Just to see. I'm not hearing a huge difference.
Right.
Not as much as I thought I would.
Yeah. And I think it also comes down to, like I said before, the pedal that we're using. But, the difference, it's not necessarily night and day. You know what I mean? I think it was more obvious with the lower gain stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. That's chorus.
That's chorus. That's chorus.
That's that chorus.
That's that chorus. Exactly. So we come back to the vent because this is interesting. This is, for me, it's a little bit separate.
Yeah. But the big one is delay.
But the big one is delay. Right?
Come on then.
Okay, so the general thinking is gain into delay.
Yeah, and
right?
that holds true for whether you're talking about pedals, or a lot of people tend to view their amps that way. So if you have an overdrive pedal, you'll have your delay after the overdrive pedal. If you run a gainy amp, you would run your delay after the overdrive, which would mean after the preamp of the amp in the loop of the amp.
Right.
So whether you're doing it via a loop or whether you're doing it on your pedal board, the theory is the same, right? Delay after overdrive
Yeah.
as the start point.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And here's why. So this is our the Belle Epoch Deluxe. This is the delay just straight to the amplifiers. Okay, so low gain overdrive into the delay. So we're still clearly hearing the first note that you play, right?
Yep.
Now, I'll change that and put the gain after delay part.
Radical difference.
Crazy difference, right? Now, if you imagine, there's that school of thought that says, I like to set my amplifier up on the verge of breakup and then run everything into the front of it. Basically, that's what's happening, right? So you hear with the gain going into the delay. The delay is basically free to do whatever it wants. But with the gain after the delay, the gain after the delay, the gain is limiting our dynamic range, right? So where the delay was down here, because our dynamic range is now limited, the delay is now up here. But it's not a bad sound. And as a matter of fact, I think it sounds pretty great. Let's have a listen again.
So that's the delay first.
This is the delay first.
The delay first. And so the delay is much more obvious, isn't it? So if you were playing something that was a little more, I don't know, tricksy,
Yep.
more leady,
Yep.
you're going to start getting...
Yeah.
The delay disappears more when it's after.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go up again
Okay,
stage.
up again
I'll
stage.
play exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Or at least...
So now what's happening, not only, so before with the lower gain stuff, it was we had the levels bringing up, right? But now with that, we're getting into higher gain levels. Not only is the note that you're playing distorting the input, but actually the tails of the delay are now distorting it as well.
Yeah.
So you get a...
So go up again, then go up again.
All right, here we go.
Now we're starting to hear the reason why people say put delay after overdrive, right?
Yeah.
Because it just starts to eat itself, basically.
Yeah.
Which is a sound.
Sure.
A really cool sound, actually.
Yeah. So if you think about when, Zeppelin or loads of bands back in the days of tape delay and Echo Rex and things, and they had their amps cranked, and that was going to the front of the amp as well. And they were getting all these, crazy oscillating sounds, and that sort of sound adds to it. So if I start to get some oscillation going now, right? So this is, we'll use the high gain.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go.
Oh no, high gain and oscillation. I'm going to hate this.
So, but the difference is it's obviously more controlled, right, with the gain going to the delay. But as soon as you got that delay hitting that gain like that, it's just...
For that experimental stuff, and Dale, you mentioned the shoegaze.
Well, we're going to get to that.
Okay, Dan and I had a... Well, we'll get to that. But for that stuff, it's almost like you have to have the delay first.
Yeah. So, you know, there are sounds that are available by putting a gain stage like that after everything that are just unavailable doing it any other way. You know, it's a lot of fun. You do need to get used to it because that really good. So a good example, Stephen Wilson. He has his Bad Cat, 100 watt Bad Cat, and it's
Do you know we haven't honked anybody's today? And I think we talked about loads of people.
Yeah, right.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. I'll honk him. He has his Bad Cats, and they're cranked and sound massive, and he loves his delay going straight into the front of that.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want the clean textures of the delay don't necessarily work that great for him, or he loves hearing the tails going into that amp distortion. He loves that. So, you know, it's not something that you'll use for the solo of Angels.
Yeah.
You know, but it's definitely a nice. Here you go. Go for it.
Does he play it slide? Is it slide or is it?
I don't know.
This will be a laugh. Phil or Jack White? Can you give us a really, really short delay?
Yep.
Sorry, this is a tangent.
Now, we'll do the same sound, but with the delay after the overdrive.
It has to be with the delay before.
Yeah.
Now, that's a pretty special delay, to be fair.
Yes.
Belle Epoch Deluxe is a really spectacularly good sounding delay. Because it has a preamp in it, right, as well. So the preamp is also hitting the overdrives.
Yes. Isn't that cool?
Things are changing for me today, Dan. Things are changing for me today.
Awesome. Okay, so reverb. Now this is really interesting. We've got the reverb by Empress on here for a number of reasons. One, I think it's a spectacular sounding reverb. But it also has all of the different reverb sounds we need to do this particular thing.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, right. So first of all, let's hear it
you should play for a bit as well.
I actually need you to keep that guitar on your lap for a moment.
I'm not gonna moan.
All right. Okay, so this is the reverb on its Todd.
What were we listening to earlier? The Raconteurs.
Yes.
Consolers of the Lonely.
Consolers of the Lonely, and I can't get it out of my head. I've never heard it before. It's one of the best records I've ever heard. Anyway, so I want to be Jack White today.
Okay.
Or Ken, the other bloke.
That's a plate reverb.
Right.
Okay, now going to go low gain, and then we're going to put the plate reverb after it. So it's a great sound, but there's loads of effect
Yeah.
on that. Now, all I'm going to do is put the low gain after the reverb.
There's still a lot.
There's still a lot, but it's like
Softer.
okay, it's softer, and it sounds, to me, it sounds less effective. It sounds more integrated into the guitar sound. So just have another listen. So this is gain before it.
The second one was the gain after.
Yeah.
It just softens it right off. Same as with the delay.
Yeah.
It
So-
lessens the effect.
Exactly. It takes the like those high frequencies that are happening in the trails. They're beautiful, but when you put that gain after it, it just softens those down, and it becomes more like almost more like a small room with loads of it. You know what I mean? So that's a plate reverb we've got going at the moment. But I love that sound. I love that, just that slightly softening off of there.
I could feel a pedal board change coming on here for me.
It's cool, isn't it?
I've never tried, because you just accept the standard, right? And you hear a high gain amp with a delay in front of it, and it just sounds awful usually.
Yeah.
And yet there are applications for that sound that are really stunning. So yeah, no right, no wrong, just know where to use it.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
It's great. So, I mean, with the chorus, it's like you can hear a bit, but now we're starting to get the time stuff.
Yeah.
This is when it really
Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
I mean, it does. It's just we will come back to the modulation, but certainly we've done it before with Univibe, for example, and
Yeah.
that makes a massive
Well,
difference.
we're going to get into it with the vent.
Okay,
because it's really, really interesting what the
I'll
vent
shut
does.
up. You were going to show me something else.
Okay,
with
well, let's do
Reverb.
no. So, we move along again with the bit of a high gain sound. So, medium gain before reverb.
I was going to say it's softer and wetter, but
But you won't.
no, but I won't. But it is.
But it's really interesting, right? Because we've heard for so long, it's rubbish. And in actual fact, it's not rubbish. It's just different, And in that context, I think they both, there's definitely a situation where I would use both. But yeah, I there's something about being able to up to the medium gain stuff, where you place that gain stage in relation to what's happening with the reverb is huge. Now that with the higher gain stuff, that was really interesting. So
I've just kind of worked out the bleeding obvious. The reverb is giving the overdrive pedal more to deal with. Therefore, the overdrive pedal has more to overdrive.
Yeah. It's
It
got
sounds like the most obvious thing in the world to say because it's too obvious for words. But so the overdrive pedal hits the reverb, right? And the reverb just sees that first transient, and then it reverbs it, and it reverbs everything after.
Yes.
You play your guitar into the reverb, and it hits the reverb first, and the reverb's going reverb, 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 and all of that's hitting the overdrive pedal.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
When you think about it like that.
Sure.
So of course it sounds way wetter.
Yeah. Exactly.
And softer.
Yeah, because we've massively reduced that dynamic range. So what was happening with the reverb down here, again, that's now brought up here. But it's, you see, like where I can play with that, I can hit it, but then I can play softer, like really soft.
Yeah.
And it's still really wet, but I don't get that same level of like play with the reverb after. Now, is that a sound I'll use all the time? No. But is it a sound I'll use? Absolutely. It is killer.
So I've got a question then. When you turn up the reverb in an old Fender amp and it starts to overdrive, I don't know where that overdrive is happening. And I'm just wondering on the return stage, because it's tube driven and it's tube recovered.
Yes.
So is it getting overdriven when it comes, you turn the reverb up, it sends more signal back, and then it's getting overdriven afterwards as well?
So if you take the reverb tray out, right, and you just put a link between that, you can use your reverb as an overdrive because there is so much more level.
Yeah.
But then it's got to hit the power stage, and that's going to limit it. So that's where you get all this amazing gain from. But so now put the tray back in there, right? And it's got to send so much more signal. But as you let more and more of that signal in, it's going to overdrive.
And the power stage of the amp is overdriving.
Well, it's hitting that. It's hitting that really hard.
So you've got what I'm trying to get to is you've got overdrive after your reverb, and that's where it starts to get really splashy in those old Fender amps.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, to me, having the reverb before the overdrive pedal sounded more like a really, like if you turn the reverb up to 10 on the super reverb, sounded more like that to me.
But so now the amazing thing about that is we're doing that with a digital reverb set pristinely clean.
Yeah.
Right? So, and we can hear that when it's after the overdrive, right? But it's because we're taking all those pristine edges and we're basically slamming them, distorting them and getting rid of all that pristineness.
So on another day, I want to try a clean Fender amp with the reverb first and the overdrive pedal second, and see if that digital reverb pedal sounds more like a spring reverb and slightly better when it comes before overdrive than after.
Sure.
That's for another day.
Okay.
Right. This has been a revelation, Daniel.
Right. Awesome. I'm so glad. Now, but this is something that actually, can you grab your offset?
Just been on a guitar safari. Right, nothing like a stereotype, Dan. Yeah, been in a case for a month. More or less in tune.
Marvellous. That's a great guitar. Okay.
Remember how it works. That's how it works.
Okay. So, what I'm going to do... So this is the sound of this guitar with some high gain. Here we go. Okay. So, a lot of gain there. Now what I'm going to do... We're going to put some reverb on. But we're going to use reverse reverb. Okay, so just have to play it with that. This is the sound of reverse reverb. Perfect. Now, I'm going to start with the high gain into the reverse reverb. Then I'm going to switch it, okay? And when we switch it, I want you to use loads of big chords and whammy, all right?
All right.
Here we go. And that's a famous shoegaze thing, having reverse reverb into massive distortion.
Or overdrive. Bless you. Simon's got allergies against that kind of music, maybe. It's great. I mean, you used to get lost in that for blooming days.
Yeah.
Because what's happening, the reverb is doing its reverse thing and it's hitting the gain stage.
Sure.
So it's much more washy and massive and...
Same thing. I'll put some delay in there as well. It's so cool.
Glorious
It's
noise.
so cool.
And really, really radically different.
So different.
Just with the position of that one pedal.
Yeah. But still, I think there's a misconception that sort of thing is totally unusable. It's not. It's wonderful. Biffy Clyro, Simon Neil, delays first, before everything. And I remember when I saw his board, it really surprised me. And he's just like, oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just
there's a lot of surprising things about Simon, aren't there?
There are.
Strat, Metal Zone, delay before overdrive.
Yeah. Just and
mega
epic sounding guitar player.
Yeah.
But so this is the challenge to misconceptions. You can sound great with gain after stuff, all right? And this is not new information. This has been done before, but it's just challenge the way that you think about signal path. You know, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. But now just want to quickly finish on the vent, because this is really interesting.
Yep.
So if we get some, we'll get a sound up with this. If you want to go back to your...
Sorry, I'll play this.
Oh, awesome.
I like playing
Okay.
this. We're almost back to chorus territory of it making slightly less difference.
Yeah, yeah. So what I love about this is if we're distorting the sound of the vent, it's as if the cabinet itself is like distorted. We get rid of that pristineness,
Yeah.
you know, and it becomes dirty, and all that movement becomes dirty. I love that. I love that. Not saying I would use it like that all the time, but it's really great to be able to have the option to say, because there are times when that's going to be awesome, where you don't necessarily want all the massive pristine movement of a really clean vent. And that's why with a lot of these things, they put an overdrive circuit in there.
Just what I was going to say. Here you go. So here's the sound of the vent as it is then. So that's with a tiny little bit of extra gain.
Yes.
Let's see what that does with gain either side of it.
Okay.
Really changes the envelope of the phase.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah.
And clearly one is not better than the other, but you may prefer one over the other.
Yeah. Cool, isn't it?
It is cool. And it's just more stuff to get potentially confused about, or go, actually, I'm just going to try these either side of this and see which one I prefer the sound of.
We've said it before 1,000 times. There is no substitute for getting your hands dirty with this stuff, because, you know, you can't say universally that all choruses are going to work that way. All Leslie cabinet things are going to sound the same way. So spending some time and just mucking around with position and see if there's one that floats your boat.
Yeah, and goodness me, if you caught our episode with Simon Jarrett from Kingsley Pedals, give Simon a honk.
Yes. Oh.
Talking about input impedances, output impedances, and all of that. There's each one of these pedals has got variances along those lines as well.
Yeah.
So they're instruments in their own right, aren't they? And the mix and the match and the positioning is what makes it work as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I guess we can talk about generalities, which we've done today.
Yeah.
Delay before overdrive generally does this, delay after overdrive generally does that, but that might change exactly as you said for the chorus pedal. Mm-hmm. Could change depending on whichever particular type of delay or chorus or reverb that you're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So try it.
Yeah. there we go, guys.
I'm totally going to put delay before my overdrive. I love that sound. I absolutely loved that sound.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's magic. I think I'm going to have the page at the end of the signal path specifically for that sound.
Right.
Because I love what that page does. I mean, I use it as a boost as well, but being able to stick reverbs and delays and modulation things. So I'll put it right at the end. Yeah, it's wonderful. There's some sounds in there that are just you can't get any other way. It's really cool.
Too cool. Nice one, mate.
Well, there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That'd be great. Also, thank you again to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed a t-shirt or pedals or
Journals or strings.
cups and hats.
Yes.
Yes.
A gift for the holiday period.
There we go. Massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Guys, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. And to our preferred retailers in the UK and Europe is...
Anderton's Music of Guildford in Surrey.
Yes.
Check them out.
Yes. And our mates in Australia.
Pedal Empire of Brisbane, Queensland. Please check them out online. There are links in the description below.
Perfect. Cheers, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.